Hi everyone, it's Rob Watson, the module leader for TECH2503 and Community Media Production, and this is the video summary overview of the 18th lecture. And what we're going to cover this week is report writing. So we discussed last week the idea of critical thinking and the way in which the academic process is about interrogating and understanding the differences between, if you like, cause and effect. What we want to look at this week is how we structure that and organise in terms of a formal, academically rigorous and well-presented report that has a practical use in terms of being able to share information and organise our thinking and to inform people about useful reflections and proposals for how we can improve things that we do, that we make, that we engage with. This is again key kind of strategies, if you like, for the academic process, which will see you through to. It's very, very useful for your final year project, so that you'll get an idea of what is involved in the report writing process, which underpins the technology projects that you'll be doing in the final year. So what we'll look at is we'll go back over some of the ideas about kind of critical thinking and kind of critical dispositions, that kind of open-mindedness, how that's important, and kind of how it is that you kind of engage in a cycle of thinking, and what the kind of different types of reasoning are that you might use that underpin the forms of thinking, and how you would present and demonstrate that thinking through something like an academic report, because that's really the vehicle which demonstrates how and in what way we think. And it's really the kind of what enables us to have credibility with other people as a person who is an active participant in our social groups, because we have this ability to take ourselves out of our own subjective internal experience and open ourselves up to a more objective process, which goes beyond our simple individual kind of thought patterns, if you like, and prejudices and preconceptions. So there's a kind of we as people, we kind of have a bias, if you like, to our own set of preferences about the way that we see the world and we think about the world, but we can overcome those biases by developing a process of thinking, which is the academic process, which is so reflection is at the heart of this process. Clarifying a question and kind of working out what's being engaged with is the part of the process. Putting things into a good order is part of the process. How we seek information, so the kind of diligence in finding sources that we can use and the credibility of those sources, kind of what it is, the way that we organise and rationalise our thinking in this way, and what the kind of criteria, what the evaluation criteria would be for a well-constructed and thought-through paper, academic paper. So, what makes something a good paper and what makes something a bad paper. So we'll kind of look at some ideas about what is meant in the evaluation criteria and what it is that I'll be looking for when I come to mark your reports. So really one of the kind of crucial approaches that we want to think about is the kind of care that we take about this process, and that we're not just approaching it on the basis of we put some thinking and some planning into it and we revise our thinking. This is not about having predetermined fixed thoughts, but it's a process that enables us to develop our thinking. And so we have to think about issues to do with who's going to read our report and what we think that they're going to get out of it, and what kind of evidence base that we want to support it with. So, at the end of the day, this is a practice-based approach, and we want to ask the question, what do we and what do other people gain from the knowledge and the analysis that we put into and share in a report, so that other people can maybe take this up and it adds and contributes to a wider debate and discussion, and we're not just leaving things to a kind of hearsay or kind of prejudice or partial thinking, but we're engaged in a debate and discussion which is open and collaborative and collegiate, which is the academic model. So then we'll go through kind of practical steps, if you like, in terms of what we're looking for in terms of the structure of a report, the formatting of a report, the use of numbering in a report. I've got some information here about style and the kind of level and the approach that we take with this, and we'll touch briefly on kind of issues about evidence, though we'll talk about this in more detail in the following week when we do in the following lecture about the report process, which is to look at academic evidence. But I'll introduce some of these topics if we get time to go through them, just to kind of flag them up as kind of different things that might inform your report and that you have to kind of navigate through. And then finally, we kind of look at some ideas about writing styles and citation management, and then the kind of what we do about making sure that we don't plagiarize in our reports. So these notes are posted up on the DMU Commons wiki. You can get them at wiki.our.dmu.ac.uk. We'll also be doing some workshop sessions after Easter, so that the workshop sessions are set aside after Easter because you've finished your community media project, and what we then need to do is use the workshop sessions at the 3 sessions that we've got after the Easter break to really write these reports and get them into the right kind of format. So there's plenty of time for interrogation of this and looking at the structure and looking at the techniques and using the things that are built into Microsoft Word, for example, that help us to present a report in a more formal academic way. So the notes are up on the wiki, wiki.our.dmu.ac.uk. If you want to add anything to what we talk about in the lecture, then you can use the DMU Talk platform, which is at talk.our.dmu.ac.uk, and just look for the community media topic. That's always a good one. And if you've got any examples that you can share, that would be great as well. But I'll see you at the lecture.